For all your TCG needs, make sure to check out alphatradingcardgames.com. What's poppin', everybody? This is Sabro94. Gonna be talking about emerging decks from Silver Tempest, our upcoming set. As always, this is not a comprehensive list of all of the Pokemon and decks you can utilize, but it's a few decks and strategies that stand out to me. For the people that like Superior as a starter, you'll be pleased to know Superior vstar is a very solid Pokemon, 270 HP, can do 190 for 3, and then the vstar attack, it's basically a 60 times the number of energies on Superior. So if you have 3, you can do 180, but it's a hit and switch attack too, so you can hit and switch to a different Pokemon. Now, the saving grace of this card with 190 damage is that even though you won't be able to get one-hit KOs on V-Stars and other VMAXs, you can always conserve all of the energies, put them on a different Pokemon, perhaps another Superior V-Star, or Brilliant Star's Shaman V-Star, and at least you know that you have a different Pokemon ready to go. You don't gotta spend time powering up something different. Obviously, Grass has everything they need to work thanks to Gardenia, so energy acceleration shouldn't be an issue. And this is a solid little grass deck. I guess something to try out. You can do solid chunks of damage in the beginning with Superior, and then mid to late game, Shaman V-Star becomes an excellent revenge Pokemon. And you can even have the healing option too, as something better to utilize instead of Superior's V-Star attack. Next up, we got Molly V-Star. This is more of an expanded option. You can possibly make it work in standard too with a bunch of switching cards, but if you're going to make it work at its best, I think it needs to be an expanded where we have Keldeo EX and Downwings Necrozma, where you can put float stones on and get that board control free retreat. But basically, this Pokemon is kind of a throwback to Golisopod GX2, where if Molly was on the bench and it became active, you can do 180 for 2, which is really respectable, a lot stronger than Golisopod. And obviously, you can easily meet the cost with one of the DC ripoffs we have, or the actual DC in Expanded. And you basically have a sort of a cheap energy control switch and attack deck. Obviously, you're going to try and utilize the scoop up cards as well for healing. We have plenty of those in Expanded. Acerola, AZ, I guess. You know, kind of like how the Golisopod GX deck used to be. Now, 260 HP isn't the greatest for this V-Star. If it had like 270 or 280, the strategy would have been much more efficient. But it's still something you can try out. Like I've said, you can maybe try this in Standard too with a bunch of switching cards. Its V-Star power sort of synergizes with the attack. You're going to switch yourself and then get a free switch in on your opponent, which is going to act like a boss's orders basically. So it's a nice little effect too. As a psychic Pokemon, you can easily dig out the first form with Fog Crystal and then get the V-Star with Mysterious Treasures or something. You have plenty of support to use this deck and expand it. Moving on to the most obvious deck, or even engine actually, Lugia V-Star and its pals. Before anyone tells me in the comments, I know that there's a broken sort of FTK strategy with this, and Dialga V-Star, and Giratina Garchomp GX, that kind of bullshit. I'm not really interested in talking about that, but even outside of bullshit-ass tactics like that are probably gonna get banned eventually, or who knows what's gonna happen. Lugia V-Star can be the focus of actual decks that are actually gonna play the game sort of fairly, or at least not try and make an auto-win combo. You can use Lugia as its own deck, bring out something like Archeops or Porygon Z to power it up in Expanded, or you can use it as a support Pokemon, bring those guys to power up different Pokemon, or use it to bring out the barrel for draw power. Eventually, as more and more colorless Pokemon come out with different effects or other powers, this card is only going to get better, so I suggest you pick it up if you can. And if you want to make a really competitive deck, this is definitely a card you want to look into. And then the last V-Star I want to talk about, I purposely left this card after Lugia because I think it might actually be even worse, is Regidrago V-Star. This damn card has a lot more going for it than I originally thought after I looked into a bunch of the dragon Pokemon that we have. For starters, it's a dragon Pokemon, 280 HP, standard, very high. You're good when it comes to that. No weakness, which is huge compared to other V-Stars. You won't be able to take care of this guy easily with a counter or try and hit it for weakness. So that's another big thing. I thought its vstar power was you discard the 7 cards and then grab any 2 from those, put them into your hand, and then discard the rest. But I've been told it works differently. You discard the 7 cards and then you can pick up any 2 cards from the discard pile. So it's going to be kind of like a computer switch from the discard pile. I still think when it comes to consistency, Arceus V-Star is going to be better, especially because you got to dump things. But the real kicker for this guy is the damn attack. For 2 grass and 1 fire, 3 energies, you can copy any attack from any dragon Pokemon in your discard pile. Now, I knew that this was going to be good when I first saw it because there's a lot of dragon Pokemon options out there. But after looking into some of the dragon Pokemon and all of their attacks, this card is going to become just as bad, if not worse, than Mew and Mewtwo GX tag team. I definitely think it's going to be on that level and even stronger and expanded because you can basically copy just about anything. You can copy an attack like Mega Rayquaza EX is the Dragon one that does 300 damage and discard 2. You can easily replenish that for sure with double Dragon Energy and other energy acceleration options. If you don't want to discard energies and would rather risk it milling cards, you can copy Mega Charizard's attack that does 300 damage, discard the top 5 cards of your deck, but it's still freaking 300 damage. You're just going to KO just about anything. You have a bunch of dragon Pokemon that do shred type of attacks that are going to ignore effects. Duraludon, Giratina, other ones that I'm missing. Dragonites have a bunch of big attacks, 250. You can do all sorts of things. Copy attacks that are going to make you immune to shit. Discard energies, do extra damage on VMAXs with Flygon V. The list goes on. You have unlimited options because it works with any dragon Pokemon, unless there's a mistake in the Cerebrate translation. But you can copy V-Dragon's attacks, GX Dragon's attacks, regular-ass dragon Pokemon's attacks. The list goes on, the things that you're going to be able to copy and do. So I think this Pokemon has potential to be even stronger than Lugia when I look at it right now. Now, obviously, it's not versatile in terms of being able to be used as a support Pokemon too, like Lugia, letting you grab barrel and stuff. But as its own deck and as an attacker, it's going to be really, really dangerous, extremely powerful. And I think they should not have made the attack like this. They should have made it you being able to copy like Dragon V's Pokemon attacks or something. Because being able to copy GXs, EXs, I mean, Jesus Christ, like forgotten cards that were never good, like Mega Charizard. Yeah, Mega Charizard EX, the black one that does 300. It's a dragon. And the damn Mega Rayquaza 2 that does 300, the dragon one, that didn't see a lot of play. Like, those cards are going to be able to see some use again with this guy, which is crazy. So that's Regidrago, definitely going to be a powerhouse in Expanded. You guys should know the drill. Battle Compressors, Ultra Balls, dump those Pokemon, and then do the shit just like Mewtwo. I think it's going to be really broken. It's cool that you can utilize some of those old Dragon EXs like Charizard and Rayquaza, but I think it's just going to be too strong. But that's that guy. Next up, we have a few decks based on regular Pokemon. The best one I think is going to be Delphox, not because of the HP or the stats, but only because both of its attacks need cheap energy to work. First attack just needs 1 energy of anything, and then the second one, you can use DC or any of the DC ripoffs and expand it, and it's going to work too. Basically, what you're going to want to do with this Pokemon is kind of like the Charizard deck with the Leons, but this one is probably going to be better because you don't need many energies to attack. You dump the Serenas in your discard pile because in terms of using them, I'm not too thrilled with her effect. But you dump the Serenas in the discard pile, and then you can do a lot of damage for just 1 energy. You can max out up to 240 for 1, which is quite high. And then the second attack for DC, you're going to do 50 times all of the energies your opponent has on the field. So if they have a bunch of energies on the field, then you can also use it to do very high damage. But that's about it. It's probably not going to be tier 1 or anything, but it's an option, I guess, for regular Pokemon. It's all we can really have. I wish it had at least 190 HP or something. Especially with 2 retreat is terrible, but of course they gotta make it suck. They gotta give these HP. They gotta give this Pokemon HP, like we're in the Black and White era. But anyway, that's Delphox. Nothing much to it. Probably going to be more of an expanded option as well because you need things like Battle Compressor to dump the Serenas reliably. So that's what I think at least. Next up, we got the Gen 5 Beast, Legendary Beast Quartet. That's the word. It's Virizion, Keldeo, Terrakion, and Cobalion. If you got these guys together down, Virizion can do 90 for 1 energy, which is solid. And then if you put any add-ons like Choice Belt, it goes up to 120, and then it can get even stronger maybe, which is solid. These are just basic Pokemon. You don't have to evolve into them. You don't have to attach a bunch of energies, so it leaves you with a lot of space in your deck for consistency and disruption. So maybe that's going to be something too. Maybe it's going to be better than Delphox, faster than Delphox. This is something that you can definitely use in Standard too. You don't have to use it in Expanded. And then Keldeo from the group is also kind of solid. It can do 220 for 3, which is actually quite high for a regular Pokemon. So once again, even if you don't get one-hit knockouts with these attacks, you're only giving out 1 prize. So if you can give out enough pressure to your opponent and only give out 1 prize, then if they can't heal, then eventually you might be able to overwhelm them. So Keldeo, it just needs a water and a double colorless to make the attack. So it's workable, it's not impossible. With a few like maybe rainbow energies or whatever, then you can maybe do something with Virizion and then the other beasts. So that's another deck, I guess. And then the last option is Claydol. I really like this, but I don't know if it's going to be that good because you can't have supporters in your discard pile to use this Pokemon. But they're giving us basically a Stonejourner and saying use these cards together. It's an obvious partner once again. Regular Pokemon, you're going to be able to do 190 damage for 3, so won't be getting one-hit knockouts once again, but you can give out a lot of pressure. There's a bunch of other fighting Pokemon that you're obviously going to maybe want to use with Claydol. Hisuian Arcanine. I think it's more going to be like a tech Pokemon with Claydol. It can't be used as the main attacker. It needs a lot of energies to do a lot of damage, so I don't think it's going to be that good. I mean, you need like 5 energies to do 240, I think, and that's too much. Too little damage for all those energies. But with Stonejourner, it's at least a regular Pokemon. You can dish out some high damage. You can maybe use some shit like Rhyperior, perhaps. I don't know, Colossal VMAX. Good luck if you're going to go that route. But obviously, there's a lot of fighting Pokemon to choose from. Energy acceleration for fighting isn't usually very easy, which is what makes this Claydol card stand out. It's going to be difficult to use, but I think I'm going to welcome the challenge, see if I can make a consistent deck without any supporters. And these are the decks that stand out to me, guys. There's a lot more regular Pokemon that can do a lot of damage in Silver Tempest, but I think they're going to be too inconsistent. Things like Laylee, they kind of look good on paper, but I don't think they're going to do much. But the stuff that I mentioned, I think, is the best of the bunch. Obviously, a bunch of rule box Pokemon that are going to be really broken. Lugia, Regidrago, man, I think these cards are going to give us hell. But we'll see what happens. At the end of the day, I mean, with Lugia, the Porygon Z engines that you're going to be able to use in Expanded and in Standard too with the Archeops, you're going to be able to do some crazy shit. I mean, if anything, you can just power up Lugia and attack for high damage with the powerful colorless energies. So these are the emerging decks I thought of, guys. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. Leave a like, share this video with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. What up?